You are listening to the BlahCade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, aka Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always, halfway around the world, Jared Morgan.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Fine Sunday/Saturday for you.
Yes. You future liver, you.
Oh, yes. The future is bright here. There's nothing bad happening yet.
Yet.
Yes. So let's keep going with the goodness.
It's only a matter of time. So, I don't know about you and what you watched on Netflix, but word came down last week that Netflix is canceling Iron Fist, which is their Marvel shows, which are Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage.
Right,
and
that's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot. And the first season of Iron Fist was laughable. Right. For something that was supposed to be about this guy that's amazing martial artist. It featured the worst martial arts of all their series.
Right. Okay.
So it was corny as hell, just ridiculously corny. The second season of it just came out, I think 3 weeks ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got around to watching it because I really didn't want to, but I was like, all right, whatever, I'll watch it. And it was much improved, which isn't saying much from where they were starting, but it was better. And so when the news came down that it got canceled, I just kind of went, all right, whatever, good riddance. You know, it wasn't that great to begin with. Well, then news just came down, and what everybody was thinking was, oh, okay, well, that's okay because Iron Fist will just get morphed into with Luke Cage, because I guess there's a comic series called Heroes for Hire, and the two of them are always paired up together and doing battles. And then there's two characters from the female characters from both respectively Luke Cage, and from Luke Cage it's this character named Misty Knight, and then from Iron Fist it's Colleen Wing, and those two pair up to become Nightwing or something like that. I can't remember what the thing is, but anyway, they pair up also. So everybody figured, oh, okay, well, Iron Fist is canceled. They'll just morph those people over into the other show, except for Luke Cage just got canceled.
And there's nothing.
Third season, which again, I found the second season of that to be a complete waste of time. So
there's a reason why they're canceling all these shows, because they're actually rubbish.
The overarching reason is because of the Fox Disney merger, and excuse me, not the Fox Disney merger. It's the Disney coming up with their own streaming service.
Oh, right.
So here Netflix has these particular Marvel shows, and Disney is maybe going, you know what, we can be hardball. No, we don't like your renegotiations. We're gonna pass. You know, and I guess
we're scientific on you.
Yeah. With Luke Cage, they had already submitted a full breakdown of the season, the upcoming season, what the storylines would be. They'd already had back and forth with Marvel about those, taking care of the notes that were given back to them and incorporated them in. And even still, they went, no, we're done. So it's kind of funny. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, welcome to being an actual network, Netflix, where sometimes, but I think Netflix also was just kind of like, yeah, we don't care, because they've been canceling shows suddenly. They went from never canceling a show to suddenly canceling lots of shows.
I heard news. We've got news down here that Orange is the New Black is final season. Yeah. So, I mean, that's 7 seasons, though. I mean, I know what happened with Dexter over 7 seasons. They really should have cancelled it at 5. So I don't know if Orange is the New Black is the same here, but same story, but not
interesting. If you did a 5 seasons of a show, and you had never seen any of them, though, right? And then you go come across them on Netflix, and each season is only 10 episodes long. It's not too daunting. Like, you feel like, okay, I'll sit down and I'll watch this. If you know that you have 80 episodes to watch of an hour-long show, ooh, that becomes a whole nother ball of wax, where you're like, do I really want to commit this much?
That's a lot of time.
A lot to watch.
Yeah.
So in this new paradigm of TV and viewing habits, I think we'll be seeing a lot more short series
Short, but really concentrated and good. See,
Exactly.
I prefer that. Like, I don't have Netflix at all.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I had it, I just wouldn't watch it. Because I don't have the time to watch. I just have the regular TV on and I'm doing other things while I'm watching it. So I don't like to watch TV like that. So I wouldn't watch it. But yeah, for me, if you had to say, well, look, you can do a 3-series show, it's like, yeah, sign me up for that, because that's easy. That's easy to fit in,
I didn't think that I would watch Netflix nearly as much as I do watch Netflix now. It's one of those, again, it's daunting when you first get it and you're like, oh my God, there's like all this stuff.
Things.
Where do I even start?
Yeah.
And the thing is that once you start, you kind of go, oh, now I'm kind of interested in giving this a shot. And so then you give something else a shot. And next thing you know, you have this whole new palette of things that you want to watch. And instead you stop watching regular TV, which is what I've done. I don't watch any network TV now.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have a problem not watching regular TV because, like, so I'm sure it's probably the same over there, but free to air is just junk reality TV, and that is it. And
no, we've got plenty of scripted, but the scripted is what I dub short attention span theater. It's, oh God, we got to make quick edits and throw everything at the audience before they dare to hit the remote and switch channels.
Right.
And
so panic.
Editing. It's just it doesn't let you just melt into it and watch. And then worse than that is the fact that, and I don't know if they do this in Australia, but here they do what we call lower third advertising. So it takes up the lower third of your TV screen, and it'll be a live action, like people like film the video, things happening down there, typically advertising another show on that same network that's coming up, or airing on Tuesdays or whatever, and it is so distracting.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's terrible. We sometimes have we all have the lower third, but we have little watermarks, of course, in all the free-to-air channels, and sometimes they'll have like a watermark, and then there'll be like a celebratory watermark, and then there'll be some advertorial watermark. So it's like this big creeping thing across the bottom of the lower third. And then they'll have that interrupting thing, the big interruption, like live action promotional in-show banner. And it's just like, okay, look, you have enough chances to promote this in the ad breaks. You don't need to do it in the lower third, in the middle of a show.
See, maybe this is why when I'm playing Zen, all the pop-ups don't bother me at all.
We're conditioned to enjoy. We're conditioned to be aware of it and know that it's actually, our eyes are trained to understand it. Yeah, maybe. Hey, it's the networks surely train us. Yeah.
All right, enough of that kind of stuff. People are
banter,
pinball apparently.
Warm-up banter.
Where should we start?
So what do we got on the dance card today? We've got two things. We've got updates to your pin sim.
Yes.
And then we've got some talk about customer experience in games, right?
Why don't we start with the pin sim then? Because that's the shorter instance. And so I posted the one article about the beginning of doing this project. I have been getting parts in over the past couple of weeks after I did my big order. In the meantime, my buddy has done 3D render of what this thing looks like. And we've made some decision choices and everything. So I'll be making a post about it soon so everybody can kind of see where it's going to go and stuff. But some of the decision making that has taken place, rather than using the actual Bally coin door that I have that weighs a ton, even with big parts of it stripped away, decided we're going to 3D print one. And it's going to be more of it actually looks a lot like a Data East style coin door.
Yeah.
But my buddy has a 3D printer, and he kind of thought it would be an interesting project, and it'll weigh next to nothing. We won't have to cut a hole into the front of the cabinet.
Because you'll just stick it on.
Stick it on, yeah. So he's going to do that. The difficulty is that because his 3D printer isn't large enough to handle that wide of an object, he's going to have to quarter it and then join the quarters together. And then because those coin doors always had a texture on them, I'm just going to get the same stuff that I'm going to texture coat my legs in. We're just going to spray on the front of that, and that'll hide. Yeah, and that'll hide all the seams, the seaming, and it'll be fine. Yeah. And then what he was pointing out was, he goes, yeah, and if anybody else decides that they want a coin door like this, he goes, then we'll have to think of other options. One option would be him buying a bigger 3D printer, which he's like, I'm always looking for excuses to upgrade my stuff. And
you would be his enabler, basically.
Right. And option 2, and this would be if you were going to mass produce a bunch of these. So like we're talking 50,
get them injection
50 of them, do injection mold, which he does. So that was one thing. We came up with the paint scheme, which I think is pretty awesome.
It looks good. Is that going to be like just decal printed on, like transfer?
What we're going to do, so for our audio listeners, I chose Whirlwind Blue as the base coat because that's my favorite machine, and then everything else is going to be white and black. Basically, put white racing stripe up the front, and then on the side of the cabinet, we're going to have the BlahCade logo in white with a black outline. Basically, that we're going to have to get printed up in vinyl.
Okay.
And so that'll get put on that way.
Nice.
But again, I'm leaning towards, once I get this assembled, I'll find out if it's something that I actually want to make more of for people that want to buy them. But sorry, folks, you're going to be stuck with that paint scheme and our logo slapped on the side.
That's right. That's
branding, baby. Paint over it if you don't like it.
Think of it as merchandise.
Exactly. Instead of a t-shirt.
What other podcast show on the internet actually has controllers? I think we're the first.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
So, but some of the things that I've shown the render to a couple of people, and I had one person say, "Oh, but you only got a 4-button layout. Why don't you do the 6-button layout?" And I'm thinking, well, A, I'm not planning on playing any 6-button games myself, but B, that's not what the pin sim card is designed for. It's designed for pinball. And now if we're doing 6-button, I guess you could wire it so that it works appropriately. And then he goes, oh, wait, it's wide enough. Why don't you have 2 joysticks and 2 6-button configurations? And I'm like, okay, now we're going nuts. A, I'm personally am never going to have 2 people over to play a fighting game. B, I don't play fighting games on my PC.
Exactly. So no.
And 3, now we're really into a new PCB card to control this whole thing.
We'll essentially need 2 pin sim controllers.
Exactly.
To do it, yeah.
But now you're not even, why would you wouldn't bother with the pin sim controller. You would just do your own Arduino board and do it that way, which my friend was like, why don't we just do this on Arduino? Why did you buy the pin sim board? I'm like, it's not like I didn't mention this entire thing the entire time, because he's like, I know how to code those. I'm like, oh my God. So that's the other thing. So I started doing a price breakdown of all of this, of what all the parts cost. And it's not how much I've paid, because some of you have donated things and others I've bought used, and I've kind of scrounged around. But this would be if you went on to pinballlife.com, went on to Amazon, purchase all this stuff for yourself. How much would it cost? It's pricey. I'll put it this way.
It'd be about $500.
Parts alone is currently ranging $350 plus, thereabouts. But now there's another guy on our forum that is building his at the exact same as me, and I kind of was like, "Hey, how much is this running? Does this seem to be about fine?" And he goes, "Yeah, except for I didn't have a table saw, so I had to buy one of those. And if I want a 3D print, I'm gonna have to buy one of that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, see, my friend has all this."
You're time sharing all this stuff from your friend, but if you had to buy all this stuff outright,
it would be ridiculous.
It'd be like $1,000.
And like table saw nothing. He's using a CNC machine that we're going to cut all this.
Yeah.
So he was kind of commenting. He goes, "Obviously, you're my friend, so I'm doing this all for you for free. But just the render, because he does this for a living.
All right.
Does web or design consulting, stuff like that. And he goes, just doing the 3D render and getting it all prepared for a CNC. He goes, I charge $500 for that."
Yeah, because it takes a lot of time to do.
He goes, even if I didn't charge for that, the mere fact of you using my CNC machine, me running it and using the 3D printer, he goes, that's going to cost money too, per unit. So it's one of those things where I'm going to have to really look at the cost and see, because some items you buy bulk, it goes down in price.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Buttons, some of the stuff, yeah, like my joystick that I bought came with 10 buttons total. 8 of them are the arcade style. 2 of them are the little smaller buttons. I'm only needing 4 of the arcade style buttons. Yeah. So right there, now I have an extra 4. So I mean, it's kind of like all the little, like if I buy wire spool, because I'm going to need to wire this, well, I can buy it on Amazon, 6 spools of 100 feet per spool, in different color. Well, how much am I literally going to be using just for my project? Maybe max 20 feet, of each color, if even that. So again, now you have all this leftover. But if you were building it just for yourself that one time, hey, it doesn't matter. You got to pay the cost no matter what. So there's where it's one of those things where I'm thinking that it'll be the cost can come down for parts, but still have to charge for labor and stuff. So I don't know what the end price will be if I decide to go forward with this, but we'll see. I did have somebody else ask me. They go, I liked it, but it's too tall. What about just sitting it on the desktop? So chopping it way narrower. I'm just like, again, that's not what this is being done for necessarily. I mean, it's possible, but.
So what they would like to do is rest it on top of a table instead of resting on top of the legs.
Right, or holding it or putting it on their lap and playing with it.
See, I've tried that before, and it's really hard to explain this in the thing. But you got to like contort your hands like this to flip. Right. It just doesn't work if you're sitting down. So even on your lap, it still doesn't feel right, and you wouldn't be able to tilt it. It's not really the ideal form factor for it.
No.
I
mean, the one concession I'm almost thinking of making on this would be drill a second set of holes for the legs up much higher. So then so then you can have 2 heights. So technically you could have it. I mean, you'd have to crack the thing open and readjust everything and all that, but it's an option. I don't know.
True. Yeah. But let's see how the first one goes first. And
I was going to say a lot depends on what it feels like to get in my hands and go, okay, now that I'm playing with it and touching it, here's the adjustments that I would make.
Yeah, because you can absolutely assume that you're going to be making tweaks to it after you produce it. Like, there's no doubt you will.
But then I was joking around with, I'm like, you know what I want to do? I want to stamp number into the side of it. Like on a real pinball machine, they always had the serial number stamped into the wood, right? So I was like, I want to stamp this. Just do triple digits. And so, I would have 001. But then I thought, you'd want the 007 cabinet. I mean, that's just cool. And then I went, instead of painting it blue and white, paint it gold and black. And then instead of where the BlahCade logo is, put the James Bond gun barrel with Bond in the silhouette in the middle. I was like, my brain started going nuts.
It's a super limited edition version.
Super limited edition. Yeah. When I get to number 24, well, it's like, it's going to have to be painted Laker colors and have Kobe's name on it.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right?
Let's just see if the thing works first.
Exactly. See if it works. See how it plays. See what fun we have with it.
We're actually talking about like running circuit boards because how the PinSim board is actually done through one of those Chinese manufacturers.
Yeah.
And apparently, I was talking to a guy who's like actually rebuilds arcade machines where I work, and he was saying it costs. You can get a single board made now for $2. In China, all you need to do is you trace over it with this program. You trace out your tracks, and they will do one-off boards for $2 or $3 now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got the notification from who I bought this from, and they do a mass stamping, not of all the same board either. It's a site where yes, you can indeed design your own board and then submit it. but they were like, oh, we're currently building our order for a single stamping of this 2-layer or 3-layer board. I forget how many layers the board is. They go, currently we have 137 other boards that we're going to be cutting at the same time. And it's just like, wow.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. So
it is crazy. And it's apparently, you could, if you think about this, like as far as restoring old boards, you could just go and depopulate a pinball board. And if you wanted an original board with all the original pins and everything, like if you're that, some collectors are very, very particular about the boards they're running in the machines. You could actually go and do that. You can just go and scan the board in one for one, draw the tracks back on it again. And these guys would print you off 20 and off you go. You could actually,
which I imagine is what, because you can buy replacement boards that aren't official manufacturer or new old stock. And they're typically $100-$120 for these boards. So I imagine that's exactly what somebody did. They took the time, mapped it all out, designed it, and submitted it. And yes, you could do it yourself, but how many hours are you willing to sit there and do it for? All right. So that's all we have about the microcab. Like I said, I'll be making a post pretty soon. Lay out all my parts and all that jazz. Let's talk about, though, the customer experience in our favorite digital pinball platforms going on.
Now, let's first explain what customer experience is for people who don't know what customer experience is.
It's your enjoyment of the actual product. And also, as a paying customer, what can be expected from said product necessarily. It's what the product asks you to do after you've actually paid. Are you happy with the experience that they're offering you? Is there any chance that it's going to change? Are you having buyer's remorse? Are you going, you know what, I thought I enjoyed this and now I realize that I don't? And then it also comes down to the, what are the add-ons that are within a game? Are you having to pay even more money to get further? It's your favorite word, Smurfberries. Exactly. So if you've never heard us talk about Smurfberries before, this is a Jared term.
Let me explain what Smurfberries is.
Yes.
Smurfberries is in-app purchases that go beyond what is really acceptable in a game. So this is like, there was a game, the reason why this term Smurfberries came around, it actually wasn't my term, it was another term that someone came up with. And it's like, there was a game called The Smurfs, and it had layers of in-app purchasing. So Smurfberries were one currency in this game, but you also had two different types of currency that flowed back into Smurfberries. So it's a classic case of you might have, you might be able to earn coins in the game, but you need gems to actually go a long way in the game, and you have to buy the gems, whereas you can basically grind the coins, and you can grind the coins to buy a gem. And you might need 10 gems to do something basic in a game. And, it might take
tends 1,000. To be a mobile-only approach.
Tends to be. Yeah.
Tends to be. That it has filtered into other games, but it's that whole idea of, hey, you can download and play this game for free.
Yeah.
With the intention that they want to get you hooked. And then next thing you know, you're making a $10 purchase here, a $5 purchase here, and there's no end to the purchases. It's not like you can pay $60 like you would on a console. Right. It's always going to have paywalls. I ran into that. I was playing a mobile game called Fusion's Trial, or Fusion Trials, or Trials Fusion. I can't remember. Anyway, it's one of those, you're on a dirt bike kind of game, and they put obstacles in front of you, and it's all about trial riding, trying to get past.
It's like Infinite Runner style game, right?
I don't know what Infinite Runner is.
It's one where you're constantly moving. You don't control the acceleration.
No. This is, you have complete control of acceleration. You can do flips, tricks, any manner of things, but you have a course that you have to run. Okay. And Trials is something that actually takes place in the real sporting world with, custom motorcycles and stuff. That's what it is. And so it's boulder climbing and hopping and rock hopping and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Well, you start with a certain class of bike. And then as you progress, you can then buy a better bike. And then, of course, you can purchase upgrades to all your parts on your bike.
Mm-hmm.
And when you first start playing it, boy, the currency is just flowing. And
It's
you
like,
can just,
you can upgrade
this is easy. I can upgrade like crazy. But then it started getting into very specific parts that you needed. And you never were quite getting those in the free collection. You'd get maybe a handful, but you needed 24 of them, kind of thing. And I was content to be like, okay, hey, I'm going to write out the energy bar and I'm going to do my, allotment per day and wait for it to get and stuff like that. And it started getting to a crawl for earning this stuff. And then I finally hit the absolute wall where I was like, I cannot progress any farther without having an upgraded bike. And the problem is that there is no more trails or courses for me to run to earn any of this stuff on anymore.
So you are at basically the wall.
I'm at the wall, and
you're at the paywall.
Yep, and if I want to go further, I have got to put money into it. And I was like, nope. Not going to do it. Delete the app. And I'd been playing it for a couple of months. It was it's gone.
Yeah. So a lot of people at that point would go, oh, no, look, I'll just buy one upgrade pack. It'll be fine. Like, it's only $5. It'll be fine. And then they go, yes, excellent. And they have you hooked. Because once you buy, it's much easier. The psychology behind it is once you've made your first purchase and they've got that first purchase out of you, in the Smurfberry model, it is much easier to get you to unlock your wallet again.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Like, it's just that first purchase is the hardest. But after that, everyone else, they've done studies, and it is much easier to get money out of you after you've done that first purchase.
So what did I do instead? I purchased this was a variation. I forget what the actual name of this was. It was Trials something, but it was set in kind of a Western themed desert territory or whatever. Right. But if you go on to Steam, there's quite a few Trials games. And so I bought one of the Trials games there for less than, I think it was maybe $5 during a Steam sale or whatever, and played the crap out of that.
And it was probably heaps better.
It was heaps better, looks a lot better, and I never had to worry about paying for upgrades anymore.
No more Smurfberries for you.
Nope, it was just purely about, hey, if you beat the time, then congratulations, you'll move forward. So,
good.
Why are we bringing this up? Because Jared is not aware of this, and most of us are not aware of this because we do not have VR. And within the Stern Pinball Arcade VR experience, Farsight finally introduced their Smurfberries that they have been planning. They wanted to throw token system at us back when they changed the UI from the old UI into the current UI, and
there was outrage.
Yes, we all said nope, and it never even went to beta. We never even saw any iteration of it whatsoever. There was just mention of tokens, and we freaked, and they held back.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we hear about Spa. That's what my natural inclination to call it is, Spa. A Stern Pinball Arcade and VR with the addition of having this token system. And what did Mike tell us? He said, and you'll have the ability to buy the tables with your in-game currency. So no money out of your pocket. You can go ahead and do this.
That's what they always say. No money.
So my friend, who I went over to his house to experience the VR, he was all excited about this, and he was like, hey, you know what? I'm willing to support the app. I'm willing to pay. He goes, I'm not that good of a player. I don't want to deal with trying to grind tokens and stuff like that. So then he sends me a message. So in the game, you can buy, we're talking about AC/DC, Mustang, Star Trek, and Ghostbusters in terms of machines that you have your premium model, and then you have your LE editions, right? All the other games the other tables that are in there are no LEs. It was just always, there was only one version of.
All the Segas were just like basically LEs because there was no LE at the time. They had basically LEs. They had.
Well, it's the difference between Pro and Premium. LE is obviously different. Is the exact same rules and the exact same layouts as Premium. It just has different paint scheme.
Yeah,
different back box, different trim, but it plays the same as opposed to the Pro model, which has been hacked.
Things.
Yeah. So back in the days of Ripley's, there was only one edition. That was it.
Yeah.
There was nothing else. So this is Stern's way of this is Stern's Smurfberries.
In a way,
in real life. Which, if you've heard the prices on the Beatles table that they're going to be coming out,
I haven't.
Oh, holy crikey! I'm just going to tell you this right now. They are just pillaging from what collectors, because they know that they got Beatles collectors out there.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a couple of different prices, but the first one that I heard from This Week in Pinball, base model table, 15 grand.
Oh, 15 grand.
You want the premium version? 25 grand.
Oh,
you want the Uber Deluxe, LE version? 50 grand.
What is? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Obviously, that Beatles license is expensive.
It ain't that expensive. I can guarantee. That is purely, hey, we're going to fleece the very people that we know would be interested in this. We have no concern whatsoever for the person that is just a regular pinball collector.
So this is being produced by Kapow. Now, Kapow is the same company that was responsible for Batman 66, if that puts it in perspective for you. So the super duper LE that was available for Batman 66, we had to send your video in to actually get considered for it.
Qualify for it.
Same company.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not surprising that they're going, oh, wow, $50,000 for a pinball machine? Yeah.
Now, I heard a different price model that said it was 10 grand. I want to say 10 grand, 18 grand, and then 25 grand. Or something.
That sounds better.
Yeah, better.
Jeez, half price. Yeah, I'll take it.
It's a sale.
Yeah. No way.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's not even it's a single level playfield.
It's a reskin of Sea Witch.
Is it?
Yes, that's what they said. It's a reskin of Sea Witch, although it has a spinner in it, or a spinning disc in it, I believe.
Wow. Jeez, I mean, Sea Witch. Don't get me wrong; it's a great game. Really like Sea Witch, but
well, is it that great?
it's not 10 grand great. Like, and I wonder if this is. I know this is an aside because we're here to talk about VR and Smurfberries, but I just wonder if this is the plan with Stern. That's how they're going to be doing their really old Stern electronic vaults. They're going to be like getting Kapow to reskin them and like put like a $50,000 price tag on them because people want them. People want reskins. Yeah, but not reskins. People want the old games back. Like they want.
Here's the funny thing: people want these hyper expensive machines. They've been requesting that there be these uber expensive, and to me, it reminds me, it's the people that love doing Kickstarters. It's like, what's wrong with you? Why do you want to spend more money than is necessary? I don't get it.
Because that means they can tell their friends, "Wow, I have a $10,000 pinball machine."
Purely status. That is.
Yeah, it is.
It is bragging rights.
Yeah, they are the Earl of Ego.
Okay, so back to my whole point was there's only 4 tables within Stern Pinball Arcade that
you can tokenize or Smurfberries
that would have an LE version. You cannot purchase the LE version.
What?
You can purchase the premium version. You cannot purchase the LE version. The only way to get the LE version, and again, all this is just changing art, right? It's not anything else. It's just a matter of changing art. The only way you can do that is by buying it with gold bars.
No.
Now, within the game, you don't earn gold bars, you earn tokens. Okay.
Multi-tiered Smurfberries, my favorite type.
It takes 1,000 tokens to buy 1 bar of gold.
It takes 40 gold bars to buy 1 table.
Right.
I remember I picked that out. I picked that out in the interview that he was doing.
No, it's 40 gold bars for all the other Stern tables. It's 50 gold bars for these.
For 1 table.
Or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It might be 30 and 40, or it's 40 and 50. Anyway,
still, it's 40,000 coins.
Right. So here's the thing. Earning tokens when you first start playing, it's relatively easy because you get some for beating challenges. But the problem is once you beat the challenges, you can never earn tokens again from those.
So the one shot only.
The way to earn tokens after that is posting high scores, but that means repeatedly having to beat your previous high scores. And there's some other contingency. Anyway, it's virtually impossible. Now,
right,
you can buy 12,000 tokens for $10.
Right.
So, in order to get the LE version, if you didn't want to go through all the hassles of earning, grinding like crazy from what would be an impossible number to even collect for one table, right? Let alone trying to do it for all four, you're going to spend about $50.
$50
a skin.
And that's for one table.
That's for one table.
$200 for 4 skins.
Yeah.
No, in some cases, the LE models did actually have some variations in toys in them. I seem to remember that the premium.
It wasn't but it's like if you look at Ghostbusters, right? The ramps are both the same between premium and LE, and the spinners are all there. All the bits are all there. Okay, fine. Maybe a toy looks different. It's just trim, but functionality is all the same. As opposed to you look at the pro version of Ghostbusters, and it's wildly different.
Yeah, true. I do seem to remember though that it's certainly in the AC/DC era of tables, their AC/DC Lucy or their AC/DC Premium.
That is just a different paint scheme.
Oh yeah, I thought there was
because with AC/DC, the big difference between Pro and everything else was the lower playfield. Pro didn't have the lower playfield.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why Stern is literally, the LE is just so you can have a plaque on the front of your table that says number 18 of 500
and have the apron signed by Gary Stern.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's right. I was just wondering because I thought that in the LEs there's some LEs that actually had different, like slightly different mix or something like that.
No, and then your translite will be different and your side art will be different, but that's it.
So it was just literally just the art package.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. It's
4 skins. 4 skins.
4
skins.
For $200.
Accurate. Yeah.
And it's a complaint that has suddenly popped up in the forum, to which one of the Farside Matt, who doesn't have anything to do with he termed it. He goes, "I'm completely isolated away. I don't know a thing that's going on with Stern Pinball Arcade." And to which somebody commented, "Boy, that's pretty amazing considering how many employees are actually at Farsight. You can be completely left out of the loop of something like that."
Yeah. The fact that, it's probably the only actual game that you're producing now.
So
let's be serious.
The comment was, "Oh, we might have to look into that and readjust it." You think?
Yeah, probably.
Odds of that happening? Next to none.
Yeah, we do. We totally love to do Indiana Jones. The same. The same statement. Yeah, that's basically we'd love to readjust the leveling on the app. Yeah, that sounds never going to happen. And the thing is, it's their only title that people would probably want to buy now. Let's be serious.
Right. And so my friend, he was just like, "That's it. I'm out. I'm not buying any."
No, that's right.
Got a phone call there, Jared?
That's my daughter's CGM alarm.
Oh, okay. We'll forgive that.
Yeah, that's right. We can just edit that out.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like they're dangling the carrot, and yeah, you're going to put in some time thinking that, oh, this is totally doable, and then you realize it ain't doable in the least, and it is pretty insulting that they won't let you just buy that version of the table instead of buying the premium version. I'm going to buy the LE version.
They need to make it, like, if it was fair, they need to make the cost of the table the same price as, like, to buy it outright, the same price as doing it through the free method. So like there needs to be equality there in the way they're pricing. Like,
well, it just needs to be, hey, if you want the LE version, you pay $10. If you want the premium version, you pay $10.
$10. Yeah.
If you want both, you pay $20. I think AC/DC, they have 3 different skins.
No, do they? Oh, jeez. Because they got AC/DC Lucy, they got AC/DC Rock Case or whatever it is. They've got the other one and then the regular one. Yeah, that's.
And more to the point, why aren't they offering the pro versions? I mean, I get that. Why would you want to play? No. But then again, there's plenty of tournaments that's all you're playing on as a pro. So wouldn't you want to maybe practice on the pro version and learn how the scoring is different on that? Why isn't that even an option? I don't get why that's not an option.
Because they only had the premiums when they were doing the original batch of SPA, and they made it call to only do premiums when they were first doing it. I remember, because that's what they said. Yeah, it will only ever be premiums or LEs in the SPA.
So Farsight being short-sighted, got it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think I particularly like to play the pro because let's be honest, the pro of AC/DC is junk.
But have you ever played the pro of Game of Thrones compared to the premium?
Well, yeah, I have played the
pro is better.
The pro actually is better, but this is not a problem because then there's no Game of Thrones in the collection.
True.
And I don't know. Look, if I was this is not being applied. We should be clear. This model is not being applied to any other TPA or pinball title that Farsight is producing at the moment. Let's put that caveat out there.
Instead, we have a stagnant Stern Pinball Arcade on the PC.
Which is basically the only reason why you even want to open it is because it has direct game code and not emulated game code, which is nice, but
you're going to throw your controller at the screen when you try and navigate to that game.
Because it's literally impossible to navigate. Well, you can make it work, but you also hate yourself for doing it.
Yes, exactly.
So you go back to the less suck experience in the main TPA game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just at the point where I'm not going to cut these guys much slack anymore because I could see what can be done if you actually have, if you actually care. I'm going to put it out there. So, if you actually care.
Speaking of, I've been messing around with the Zaccaria pinball game. And there's a reason why I've been messing around with it some more, and I'll get into that in a moment. But as I'm navigating around, now look, their UI needs some work too. There's too much information. You don't know where to look, basically. You wind up missing things, and that's what happened to me. I was going through the various segments, and I opened up this one box, and there was 10 tables that were locked. And I went, what are these? And I kind of look, and I'm like, none of these are for purchase. They're just locked, and you have to do achievements in order to unlock them. And I went, oh no, because I'd just been hearing about Stern Pinball Arcade.
Yeah.
And so I contacted Mart, who we interviewed a few podcasts ago. I said, what's the deal with these achievements? How do you do them? He goes, oh, well, it's real simple. Just when you open up a table and you push play across the top of the board, it says play classic, or you can do a 90-second challenge or lamp chaser. There's like basically modes.
Okay.
And by completing those modes, you earn achievements. And then, but also you can select the achievements tab down at the bottom. It tells you what achievements you have yet to do within the game. And so it's kind of like doing the standard goals and wizard goals in TPA, except for each table probably has anywhere in the vicinity of 35 to 45 achievements that you can do. Yep. So those are how you earn your achievements per table, right?
Okay.
So by earning 150 achievements, you unlock your first table. By earning 300, by earning 300 achievements, you unlock the next table. The final table in the batch requires that you've earned a total of 1,500 achievements.
Which is everything.
That's it. That's earning. What do you mean everything?
Yeah, that's basically every one of those games with that option available. You've got to complete them all.
No, because there are over 3,000 achievements available within Zaccaria Pinball.
3,000. Wow. Okay.
So you literally only have to do 50% of the achievements in the game, and you'll unlock all 10 of those.
Okay.
So totally doable.
That's fine. That's just time.
Fine. It's just putting in time. So how much would you pay to not have to put in time and just be able to unlock them outright?
I think so. Just to like fast forward time.
Yeah.
$20.
How does about $4 grab you?
$4?
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
Shut up and take my money.
So there you go.
Yep.
That, folks, is giving good customer experience.
That's amazing.
Because
so I don't have to grind this. I can just get access to these tables now.
No, and the thing is the grinding, it's not that I'm having to grind every table to death. I can only have to grind each table 50% of the way.
And that's actually really achievable. Though,
so it's achievable. It's still maintaining fun. It's not saying you have to earn all 26 tokens of Safecracker. Yeah, imagine how much that IAP would be to unlock. Right.
In Smurf Fairyland, geez.
Right. So that's what we're talking about, where it's much better customer experience, where you can still have fun and earn achievements, or you can be like, I don't got time for this. I just want to play these tables and pay your money and go.
Usually $4. I mean, yeah. I guess they had to put some value on it, though. They probably would have just gone, look, if you want, you can go down the path of earning these, or you can just have them.
Yeah.
And I guess they had to put some value on not having to earn them.
Right.
I mean, maybe it would be that for some people, if it was like, if you spend the money to unlock it, you don't get a badge or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you pay the money if you don't pay the money and you earn it, you get an extra badge and an extra achievement. And for some people, that will be motivation enough to go, yeah, I'm going to do it the hard way and actually get the sense of achievement. So some people just don't care. Here's
what came as a surprise to me as I picked a table. I picked Pinball Champ 83 to try and do achievements. I wanted to see how difficult is it to actually earn achievements.
Mm-hmm.
How fast can you build them up? Well, while you're playing these modes, okay, for instance, Lamp Hunter, it's kind of actually cool. It lights up a series of inserts, and as your ball rolls over the insert, it goes out. You have to roll the ball over all the inserts. If you do that, congratulations, you've won the mode.
That's awesome. So they've actually put detection on the inserts.
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's another one that it's basically it goes, you need to hit these 2 drop targets. Mm-hmm. All other drop targets will be down. These will be the only 2 that are standing, and they've got a light on them. So you know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
As soon as you knock down those 2, it'll be like, now you need to hit the spinner 10 times. And only that general illumination light is on near there. So what I found kind of helpful was because on this particular table, there's an upper playfield. I could not for the life of me figure out how to get to this thing. I didn't know where the shot was because, let's face it, the Zaccaria tables, they're a visual mess.
That they are clown vomit? Yes.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden it came to where it was like launch a ball up to the second playfield, and there the inserts were lit like a landing strip going, shoot here. And the thing is, I'd shot there before. I didn't realize it was just a metal scoop that basically the ball plops up on.
Yeah.
Because I'd hit it, but apparently I hadn't hit it perfect, and so I thought it was a dead end. So now I know, I just have to keep on trying to shoot it. Eventually I shot it, made it up there. I was like, boom, I know. So it taught me the shots on the table. Now that table is so much more enjoyable to just play in regular mode.
Because you learned something. You learned how to play.
Because I learned something. So again, beneficial. I'm guessing that that's not the way it is with earning achievements in certain Pinball Arcade VR.
I wouldn't think so.
So, again, here we go. Customer experience. It's so much more there present. They have you, the gamer, in mind instead of we, the accountants.
Yeah, or let's work out a way to actually sustain the studio now.
Right.
Because, well, yeah, we kind of lost our main revenue stream.
So I do want to, look, I'll throw it out there, folks. If you are a Stern Pinball Arcade VR player and you've been earning tokens, let me know. What clip are you earning them at? Send us an email, BlahCade@gmail.com. I want to know what your experience is. You can also contact us at BlahCade on Twitter. Maybe, I mean, are we in the wrong? Are we not thinking clearly on this?
Missing something, yeah. Like, we could,
because we have no way of testing it ourselves. And my friend, honestly, is not a very good pinball player. But that's what he's saying. The problem is that he's already hit a wall just on the free tables. He's already hit his wall, and he can't get past it.
So, I mean, for it depends on the type of audience you want to target, really. And really, the type of audience you want to target is literally everybody, not a specific like channel of audience.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to make the ability to unlock the tables and actually have fun with the game. Because the thing is, if you're not having fun with the game, you're not going to play it.
Right.
And therefore, no one's going to be spending money in your app.
Right.
So the idea with in-app purchases is to get the balance right.
Yeah.
And the Smurfberries, there's a classic example of Smurfberries, which you may remember me talking about. And it was a game called Skyforce on Android. Now, Skyforce is one of those shoot 'em ups, plain shoot 'em ups. And it was single currency, stars. You collected them in the game. You got plenty of them. And if you wanted to unlock new ships or upgrade your weapons, which you really had to do in the game, you could literally go through, replay the levels on the higher difficulties, because the higher the difficulty, the more stars you get.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go play the earlier levels that you can pretty much do with your eyes closed and grind your way through, get stars. No worries at all. You'll get there eventually. But, you know, you could buy a stars pack for something like $1.99 and you get 10,000 stars. That was enough to pretty much upgrade one weapon tier and have a bit of change left over. So, you know, I happily purchased some stars from that game to upgrade some weapons, and had no problems doing it because it was fair, it was well priced, and I didn't feel like I was being ripped off because it was very upfront in the way they presented the pricing tier. But this multi-tiered rubbish that basically it is multi-tiered rubbish that Farsight's put into this title would be an instant turn off for me if I had a VR headset. There are plenty of other titles out there on Steam that I would prefer to spend my money on.
Yeah.
It is just the ultimate turn off for a customer when you insult them with this type of pricing model. It is dumb business.
Yeah. So I mentioned there was a reason why I was putting a little more time into Zaccaria. Mm-hmm. And it's hard when I really want to play some of these Zen tables right now. But I wanted to get familiar with certain aspects because their next remake table is called Stars Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be doing all the callouts for it.
Oh, right. Okay. Nice.
So I wanted to find out what. Now I've got a whole list that I'm going to have to do recordings for, and it's not going to be this voice that you're hearing. I'm actually going to be doing a character voice for it. But yeah, I want to familiarize myself a little bit more with what to expect out of that and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, so that'll be coming soon. So that should be fun. That should be fun. All right. So we've covered Stern Pinball Arcade. We've covered Zaccaria Pinball. Now let's go into Zen Pinball, where the honeymoon has worn off for a couple of people. Basically, everybody oohed and awed over their initial plays, and now there's some people that are. This has nothing to do with the censorship of the tables. No. This has to do with the physics on the tables. Most of the complaints seem to be centered around fishtails and Junkyard. Junkyard is one of those tables that I don't think most people have ever gotten their hands on. And so it's hard for people to go, hey, is this really how it's supposed to play? Versus it doesn't feel right. The doesn't feel right part is hitting the center shot all the way up the top of the play field, bashing the wrecking ball and getting past it for multi-ball.
Yeah, it's not an easy shot. Like I remember playing this game in the arcade. It's a long, hard shot to get.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
And what the complaint is that where the ball is coming off on the flipper, that it seems like you're having to flip it way early. Much earlier than you normally would. And it's the same thing with Medieval Madness. In order to hit the castle, it's a quick quick flip from capture, as opposed to when we were playing it in Pinball Arcade, where it was let the ball roll down to about the middle of the flipper, and then you'd flip up.
Yeah.
So there's been some questioning about that. The bigger questioning is with fishtails, what are you allowed to backhand? Because a lot of people are saying that they should be able to backhand the monster fish lane.
On the left flipper.
On the left, left flipper to the left orbit.
Okay.
And the same should be true for the extra ball on the right side. I believe we're able to backhand that relatively, I shouldn't say easily, but it's definitely doable. But backhanding the monster fish orbit, that's where people are saying it's impossible. So I had to go at it. And I only had a couple of times where I actually was able to do it. It's possible, but I don't think it's consistently possible. More often than not, you're backhanding either into the slingshot or up the boat ramp.
Yeah.
But I have had instances of it going. So I know it's possible. It's just kind of, and that's another complaint that some people have been having with Zen, is that there's this weird variance. There's like this not consistent shot thing. Well, to me, that falls into the category of, your flippers get heated up, or the ball is spinning, or there is these variances. It's
called physics, people.
Yeah, you play any real pinball machine, you're not going to be able to do the same shot consistently over and over and over again. It's just not going to happen. But so there's that complaint, and then there's the complaint of, it's so steep, and it's the ball just is so fast, and it's so hungry on the out lanes. And
welcome to pinball.
Well,
real pinball.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and the one that kills me was I read one where they're like, okay, fine, live catches in TPA were a little too easy. To which I say, like, that you could do it every single time.
They were actually railroaded to a particular part of the flipper.
Right. And they go, but I can only get it like maybe once every 30 times in Zen.
Yeah. Try doing it in real life?
Right. I've tried doing it in real life. I can, but it's literally takes me, 20 tries before it finally happens.
Dial yourself into the way the flippers work on the machine and the way it's set up.
I certainly can't do it 2 times in a row. I guarantee you I can't do that on a real machine. I don't have that level of talent. And there's the other thing. They'll go, well, I was watching Keith Elwin play on a Papa video, and he was easily able to do this. He's Keith freaking Elwin, people.
Yeah.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, and everybody would be a top pinball player.
Yeah.
And so when I got my 8-ball deluxe, I threw on his Papa video and I watched.
Yeah.
Because I was like, guy, hitting the 8 drop target, really difficult for me. And I watched him do this trick using the right flipper, where he just did a real quick tap. It sent the ball back up the in lane and then came up, and from it rolling, he dropped the flipper and then knocked it, and it did this perfect backhand into the 8 target. And he was able to do that thing over and over and over again. I'm like, oh my God, there's the key. Let's do this. So I go out to my machine. I try. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't even get the ball to go back up into the in lane. It just wasn't happening. I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Well, soon after, I got new rubber and I waxed the playfield. Suddenly, I was able to get the ball up the in lane. So I'm like, sweet, now I'm going to be able to do this. Yeah, it turns out it's also still ridiculously hard to do. I think I've achieved it like twice, maybe, and it was pretty much on accident.
And then you lost the ball because you were so surprised that you actually did it.
Oh yeah, because if you've played 8-ball deluxe, having the ball drop down from that lane is risky. A lot of times a center drain, unless you nudge it right when it's exiting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just killing me seeing some of these people's comments where it's just like, it's not supposed to be easy, folks. It's difficult.
The problem is you've had 7 seasons of it being easy.
Yeah.
And now you're actually getting a reality check.
So I actually started this whole experiment by playing Fishtails in Pinball Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to do a backhand up the monster fish ramp. Every single time I backhanded into the stand-up targets, which seems near impossible.
It's way too obtuse, that angle.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I was having a hard time just getting it up into that lane. And I never did. I played the game a couple of times, never did. I got it, as opposed to I actually got it in Zen. Mm-hmm. So go figure. The other thing is, it's once you've played Zen's version and then you go and try and play TPA's version, it's so unnatural in TPA. The ball is so weird in how it floats and how it moves. My timing was suddenly way off. It just didn't work at all for me. As opposed to then I went into Zen. I was like, no, this feels natural. This feels like
I'm standing in front of a pinball machine flipping this thing.
It really did. So again, it's how much does Zen need to cater to that customer experience? Well, they did, folks. And this is the other thing. If you have a complaint about how you're playing a table, please specify what version you're playing. Are you playing in Zen single player mode? Are you playing in classic arcade mode? Are you playing in classic tournament mode? It makes a difference.
It actually, a completely different physics model. So yes, you need to be specific. Yeah.
Because if you just put I can't do any of this in Fishtails, which one? Which version? And then we can actually test it, and then you can actually file a proper bug report, and they can actually work on it, and things can progress forward.
If you go, I can't play the Fishtails, then it's like they're not going to do anything about it at all.
So I was trying to do a dead catch in Fishtails. Couldn't do it, but I was able to do that. What do they call it? A drop catch, where as it comes, you just let the flipper go limp, and then it just slows and rolls.
Yep.
The problem is then I couldn't get the timing of immediately flipping it again.
Because it's like milliseconds.
It was really difficult. I just center drained every single time. The ball didn't bounce. It caught and then just rolled.
It just stalled and dropped. Yeah.
It's
some crazy skills. There's one thing I'm going to be looking forward to actually trying out for really real when Star Race actually has its boards in it. Like actually doing flipper tricks on a real pinball machine in my house.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's different when you don't have to plop quarters in and you're actually able to, or just have the glass off and you can just constantly drop the ball in the proper spot and go, and practice.
You don't have to let the machine set it up for you, and you can actually sort of get the feel of it right. Because that's the hardest part. If you get the feel right with a staged environment, then it takes, you might have 80% of it right when you're actually playing it on when the ball is wild. So that helps you, right, to actually dial it in. But then you go to an arcade and you don't have the glass off, and you have to actually spend 5 plays or something like that working out how the table works before you can do it. So it's not easy. You can see why people who are really keen about tournaments and stuff will go to the tournament venue an hour or 2 hours earlier and start playing games on the tables to learn how they feel, so that when tournament time comes around, they know what to expect. Whereas me, I just walk up there and do one game and then go, okay, well, that was my game, next game. And so I pay very little care about, what the table's doing. I think if you get someone like Keith Elwin or something like that, they don't need a warm-up because they can adapt on the fly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
they'll adapt within those 3 balls that they're playing. I've seen it happen. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you get all excited because they blow their first 2 balls. Like you're playing against this person and the first 2 balls are terrible. And you're like, yes, they are mortal. And then they get the 3rd ball and you're like, what happened?
Just going, okay, so that's what the tilt's doing. Okay, and that's what the rake is doing on the table. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's just like, what switch did you just hit? Because that's not fair.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. True. Well, yep, there you go.
Yeah, I think it's
hard. Let's go to the mall.
It is one of those things where I just wonder, at what point are people going to just accept that this is the new normal with
Zen?
Yeah.
But they're just going to have to. It probably won't take them long, because then they'll just start. The thing is that they'll start playing these games. They'll hate them for a bit, and then they'll start getting used to it, and it'll click with them. and then they'll start to be able to blow it open because it'll just feel like. And from what we've seen to date, the physics are going to be pretty consistent, so they're not going to change much per table. It seems that the flipper models on most of the core pack that were released seem pretty consistent. So that aspect, at least, which is arguably probably the most important, is going to be pretty consistent between tables. So who knows, like, what's going to happen? But
hey, Jared, I just learned something.
What'd you learn?
That people are chatting at watching the YouTube live, and I didn't have that chat window open.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Well, it's difficult to. I don't know. Maybe I got to figure out if there's a way of having it on our dashboard, or because without actually opening another window for YouTube playing. I don't know.
There's a group chat screen that we can see.
For Google Hangouts, but not for
Google Hangouts. For you, so YouTube Live.
YouTube Live has their own chat, but people have been talking it up and going, "We can hear you. How come you're not responding?" Sorry, folks, I didn't even think to open up YouTube.
The live session.
The live session, yeah. I
wonder if we can, because we're using essentially YouTube Live is like the encoder, let's call it. Because, with YouTube Live, you can actually use Xvid or whatever it is, or all the other like Twitch broadcasting software as your encoder. But we just choose Google Hangouts on air because it's easy and we don't have to worry about hardware or software. It just does it all for us, and it's quite good. But yeah, I think YouTube Live, if you're using the encoder, it will actually, or like one of the Twitch encoders, it will bring in all the chats into the one interface for you. So we're using the easy option, which is why we're missing your comments. So sorry about that.
Well, it's funny too, because the second I loaded up the YouTube, it started talking at me, and I was like, "Wait, no!" Now I'm getting this weird echo going on. I can't have that. So,
well, the way you do that is you close that Hangout window, I guess, and then you use the YouTube Live one. Maybe there's a way to launch the Hangout for you through the YouTube Live, and then I'd join on Google Hangouts on there. I don't know. We'll have to investigate this.
We will.
This is a problem for another day.
That it is, because we pretty much we've hit our time limit. Well, our fake time limit. We have no time limit, but we're not one of those 2-hour podcast people.
No, we're not. We tend not to be.
No. So, all right. So keep your eyes open. I think this week I should have that post up regarding the microcab. So hopefully people get a look at that, and I'll kind of break down everything that's going on with that. That'll be on our website, which is BlahCadePinball.com/episodes, which got a nice eye roll from my friend who is web savvy. He's like, well, what the hell is that? So then I had to explain the whole medium fiasco of us not getting our own URL.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to buy that URL, so then you guys have to charge, or I can charge you an exorbitant amount of money for it. And he looked it up, and apparently somebody already has. Unless you have.
What, BlahCadePinball.com?
No, just BlahCade.com.
Oh, BlahCade.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't bought it.
Yeah, somebody did.
Okay. Good on them.
Good on them. We ain't buying it from you.
We don't care. Because the reason why we changed to BlahCade Pinball is because we weren't getting very good SEO from just BlahCade.
Right.
So they can have the really crappy SEO version of our name. That's fine by us. Please enjoy.
Oh, all right. Beyond that, we already mentioned it, but why don't you go ahead and follow Jared and I on Twitter. Jared is at Jared Morgs. I am at Shut Your Traps. Have you gone to redbubble.com yet? Go to redbubble.com, search BlahCade. That's BlahCade. Up will pop up products. Now, you might only see 2 products when you first do that. Just go ahead and click on them, and then you can go ahead and navigate to our store, and there you're going to find that we have 4 different versions of our logo available. One in black, one in white, and then one with the circle in black and one with the circle in white. And you can go ahead and slap that on all sorts of merchandise, picking your colors of merchandise. And that merchandise includes mugs, shirts, stickers, mobile device covers, whatever. Basically, we get a small percentage cut of that, and that will go towards us being able to host this podcast on our servers, because we get those fees every now and then. It's not fun.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we've also had people asking, which our friend Greg at Spacey's Arcade, Greg, thank you very much. Greg passed along a donation to us via PayPal, basically saying, Chris, I want you to finish your micro cab so that you get addicted and then go ahead and build a full virtual cab.
So basically, gateway drug. Greg.
What he was doing. So no, we are not on Patreon. I don't.
No.
Not even.
Because the thing is, with Patreon, we'd have to work out content you'd actually want to subscribe for.
Right.
And we're flat out producing the podcast each week. So, you could subscribe, but you get the same content as everyone else did.
Yeah. So if you do enjoy the show and you feel like contributing, go to our website. Like I said, BlahCadePinball.com/episodes. There is a ways to donate to the show tab. You can do that. Jared will need to update that because it has our old t-shirt website on there currently at represent.com. We're not
that one. That's right. Page is actually the thing. I'll do that.
Yeah, but go ahead, and that way, if you want to show your support, there's various ways of doing that. And in the case of Greg, he specified what he donated, that it needed to go straight to the microcap. So that'll happen, Greg. Don't worry.
The money's already spent.
It's already spent. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think that about. Oh, and email. If you did want to email us, and again, if you have any experience trying to earn those tokens and gold bars in Stern Pinball Arcade VR, we want to hear about that. Email is blahblahblahcade@gmail.com. All right. I think we've hit all the posts that we are supposed to hit. We will be back again next week. Who knows what that show will be about, but it'll be about something, and it'll have to do with pinball, and we'll probably also mention something about something that isn't pinball, because that's how we roll.
That seems to be the general premise of the show at the moment. So yeah, let's stick with that.
All right, let's stick with that. All right, folks, we'll figure out how to get the YouTube comments so that we can comment on them live next time too. Maybe that'll be better now that we know that people are watching it that way. Yeah. Until then, have a good week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
See you later.